Welcome back, my loves. And if you're new to me or my channel, I am Johanna Burkhardt, and this is your July 2019 Ascension Energy Forecast with galactic guidance from my collective council and my team. And we have a lot to talk about in July. I know that I mentioned in the June update that about the solar eclipse and new moon in Cancer. But I want to touch on it for just a minute because a lot of people are still experiencing this energy, and I want to explain why. So being in the sign of Cancer, Cancer is a water sign. It's very big, it's very flowy, it's very emotional, it's very intuitive. Water is one of the few elements that can be a lot of different things, right? It can be a solid, it can be a gas, and it can be a liquid. So it can be destructive or it can be super nurturing. And I'm a Cancer, so I know all about it. In fact, I know a lot about the water signs in general. Fun fact about me, I am a triple water sign. Sun, moon, and rising are all water signs. So I understand the energy of what it feels like to flow into all things and to have all things flow into you, because that's essentially what's happening to a lot of people right now. And it's why Spirit has been talking so much lately about boundaries and respect, because they are one and the same. And if you do not know your own energy completely, you don't know who you are completely, your energetic field, what you feel like and what is not yours, you may be feeling like you've been having your energy breached. You may be experiencing anxiety. You may be experiencing emotional overwhelm. I always like to say, if you go out in public or you go around somebody and you are in a fabulous mood and all of a sudden it shifts very quickly, and all of a sudden you've just like flipped a switch and something's not right and you're not feeling good and you're just feeling off or you're feeling angry, you've taken on someone else's energy and it's attached to you and you have made it your own. So with boundaries and respect, the message has been, if you love and respect your own energy, your own time, then you will respect another's. And so we learn to see where the waters flow together, that space. Have you ever seen, oh, this is a good image. They're showing me the picture that goes around Facebook a lot, that's of where the oceans meet and the colors are different. Though the water is the same, right? Because we are one and the same with everybody. And this is the theme that we're going to be talking about in a moment for this new galactic year. But the waters are the same, but they're different at the same time. We have our own energetic blueprint within that same consciousness. And so it's learning where we end and another begins. And it's also honoring our own energy in the form of saying no to things that don't serve us. Not being willing to compromise yourself to make another happy, or out of fear that it will rock the boat, that they won't like you, that they will reject you, that they will judge you. Saying no because your soul, your energy is saying, that is not something I want to do. That is not something that serves me. That is standing in your own energy and respecting it and loving it. And when you say yes to things that you don't want to do, you are disrespecting yourself. And you're also disrespecting the other person, because now you are going to have to be pulling massive energy from other people to have the will to do something that you don't want to do, right? Or because it's coming from a fear-based energy of, I'm not wanting to be rejected, or I'm wanting people to like me, so I'm going to do this. We have to ask ourselves, would you want someone to do that for you? Would you want somebody to do something for you that they really didn't want to do? And every time I ask this question, the answer always comes back with, of course not. I would not want someone to do that. So then I say, well, then why are you doing it? Right? And I can say this because I have been that person. I have been that person. So the energy that we are in right now that they show me for July at this moment, and that we're kind of going to continue into for a little bit, it's like the middle of July is this gap. So June is kind of bled into July, and we're really having the roots of our wounds pulled up and shown to us. We're having the curtains ripped down, and we're having to look at the things that we have not been wanting to look at. We're being asked to face the things that we have buried or repressed deep inside of us. Old wounds, old stories, old programming is showing up in new and different ways. Some people will call it a test, and sometimes I think it's a test, but sometimes I feel like right now we are just going through this rebirthing with the cosmic reset coming, and this rebirthing, the leading up to the birth, it's uncomfortable, it's restrictive, it doesn't feel good always, right? We get uncertain, we don't know what's happening, we're like, why are all these things being shown to me? Why are these programmings repeating? Why are these stories showing up again in my life? I thought I healed them. But sometimes we heal the surface. It's like when you're pulling a weed and you just pull the top and you know you haven't gotten the root, but you're like, whatever, I got most of it. And you toss it out, right? Baby, the root is still there on a lot of things for us. And so we are digging deep into these roots. And think about it. July has 2 new moons. New moons are all about going within into that dark space inside of us, that once we realize all we have to do is turn on our light, it's no longer dark inside. But the new moon represents going inward, resting, listening, tuning in to our soul. The sun is not activating it, so there is no need for major action in those moments. So as we began July with this new moon in Cancer and this solar eclipse, we're on the 16th, we're going to close out this portal or time space continuum, if you want to call it that is just showing us all these things. And it's leading up, because think, full moon is about the big reveal, the big release, right? The moon is fully illuminated. So we're having this build up. And so around the 16th, a lot of times people will either feel a little bit before or a little bit after. So I always say 16th-ish, because the 16th is the new moon and it is a lunar eclipse. It is a partial lunar eclipse. So what's happening here is we're having this build up. And we have to come up and we have to release. And when we release, we enter into this void. We enter into this gap where we have this moment in time where we know and we have seen all of the things that aren't serving us. We know what patterns don't work. We know what stories are false. We know how we're judging ourselves. We know what isn't working, what relationships are no longer serving. And now we're in this space where we get to choose. How are we going to move forward? How are we going to step into this new energy? And this new energy is beautiful. It is filled with clarity and transparency and joy. It's filled with divine feminine flow and really tuning in and following your body, your energy, and how it's guiding you. So many of us are always tuning into the cosmos and our guides and our angels for guidance. But the truth is, if you listen to your own body, if you listen to your own higher self energy and become one with that, everything you need is always within you. You will no longer feel the need to seek outside of you. And that's what we're trying to do in July, because again, with the 2 new moons, it's very powerful having 2 new moons in a month. Not only that, but we have a couple of other cosmic influences happening this month. We have a galactic reset, on July 13th. Also my birthday, fun fact. And you can send me pretty things if you'd like. I'll accept them. So this reset is like the rebirthing getting ready to happen, which so synchronistically is 3 days before the full moon. And when it's 3 days before the full moon, the reset is opening the portal for the new moon, because before any moon, we have a 3-day window of when the new moon or the new moon or full moon is coming into alignment with the sun. Does that make sense? And so you have this path that's happening between the 13th and the 16th. So the 13th is the reset that leads to this final birthing of the new you that lands you into this gap. And this gap is your time. It's really going to be about a week. Crazy enough, this gap is going to last about a week. And it's really going to be like, just as it describes, nothingness, where you're going to be really feeling a little bit lost and confused before you step into your truth. And so we really have to ask those questions again. What do I want? Who do I want to do it with? How do I want to make a living and it still bring me joy? How do I want to serve my mission in this world to help humanity? How do I want to focus every day my energy? Because that's the other big piece of this. So they're really bringing me back to the power of our thoughts and our emotions. And that's something that we're really going to be understanding in July. And as we step into this new galactic new year, we're really, really beginning to embody the energy of instant manifestation. So when you think a thought or have a belief, and then you attach to that, you create an emotion. And when you attach to that emotion, you create an action. And then that action creates a physical manifestation. So the thoughts that we think become the emotions that we feel, and those emotions that we feel become the actions that we do and speak, which create our reality. And this is going to be ramping up like crazy. And so we're really stepping into this time where we're being called to see ourselves in everything, in every person, in every object, in every manifestation in our reality. To see the power of our thoughts and beliefs in a whole new way. To understand the power of our words and our actions in a whole new way. And how what we focus on, we create. What we focus on expands. And if you follow me, you know I talk about that a lot, because that's part of my mission here in serving humanity. But everybody collectively has to come into this energy at some point. And so a lot of you are stepping in to that void, to that gap. And you're starting to realize, wow, my thoughts are powerful. My beliefs are powerful. My words and my actions are powerful. I am the one who is creating my reality. What I am shown with this is going to be a resistant thing. And it's going to really be playing itself out over the next 6 months. Again, as I mentioned in June, the solar eclipse in Cancer was really going to last about 6 months. And what I'm shown is around November, December-ish is when we're really going to start to see that shift collectively in our world. But I always say this, everything begins and ends with you. If you want to help change the world, if you want to help change humanity, or just your personal reality, it begins and ends with you. And being in this gap in July, as we end towards July, more from the 26th, because July 26th is the Galactic New Year. So we're stepping into that new paradigm. We're stepping into the divine feminine energy. We are stepping into an energy of unifying. And what this means is this next year, the rest of 2019 and going into the first half of 2020, the first 6 months of 2020, is really about unifying. It's about seeing ourselves in everything and everyone. It's about coming together collectively in a collaborative fashion and becoming the change that we want to see. It is not focusing on the negative actions that are happening in the world. It is shifting your focus, shifting your thoughts, shifting your reality to how you can create change, how you can create light in a sea of darkness. And I have something really big launching, which comes into perfect alignment with this. So stay tuned for that. So let's come back, because as we leave July, remember, we're going to have another new moon. So we're going to be feeling these shifts, and we're going to have another chance to go within. And as we move into August, we're really going to be stepping into this energy of joy, of bliss, of clarity and transparency, and seeing the bigger picture. And this is why July is always such an intense time of year, because it's not just the middle of our year, right? It's a time where we reassess everything, right? How did the first half of the year go? How do I want the second half to go? But it's also a massive shift in our energetic field. So let's talk about some things that you can do to help yourself through this month. Because it honestly, at the end of the day, right? Because right now we're in Mercury retrograde. It doesn't matter what's happening astrologically. It doesn't matter what's happening with the moons or with astrology or anything else. It's good for you to know these things. It's good for you to understand them, but from a space of detachment, from a space of it's being a guide for you, right? It's being there to help you and to be of service to you. So let's not focus so much on the astrological events and how they're going to have a negative aspect, or could have a negative aspect, I should say, because it's all in your perception. These energies come down, and sure, sometimes we have discomfort, but they're really helping us to clear and purge our system, to be a beautiful channel of divine light, and to bring down that remembrance of our galactic heritage, of our angelic heritage, of past lives, of our higher self. Really to bring down that remembrance of us as infinite consciousness and embody it, ground it, connect it into this vessel. Because that's what grounding is, right? It's bringing that light body into this physical vessel and being a walking embodiment of what you speak, of what you're here to do, to lead by example. We're not just meant to sit in meditation for 20 minutes. We're meant to be connected to all things at all times. When we are of our highest light and in that beautiful vibration, anything lower that comes in is going to neutralize unless you attach to it. So this is why knowing your own energy, understanding the truth about boundaries and respect is such a fundamental foundational piece to your spiritual journey, but honestly, to anybody. It should be taught in schools. With that, I do want to mention that I have a beautiful course that I co-created with someone else called Reset and Reclaim. And it's really about empowering you to understand your own energy, to reset it, to understand what your energy feels like at a 0 point. And how to transmute the emotional astral body that we carry, our emotions, and the mental clutter in our mind, and so much more, really. So let's come back to what we can do in July. What can we do to move through these intense energies and really serve ourselves? So rest and honoring your body. So if your body is asking you to sleep more, sleep more. If your body's asking you to relax or play more, then do those things. If you have this burst of creative flow and you want to do things and purge or create or anything like that, listen to it, honor it. There is no one right way to do this. There isn't one right way for each and every person. it depends on what you need. This energy is going to meet you where you are. So everybody is going to experience this a little bit differently because everybody's at a little bit different space on their journey. But at the end of the day, the thing that's going to help you the most is honoring yourself, saying no when you want to say no, demanding respect, and giving yourself the same respect. So when you're seeing things being mirrored back to you in relationships, the very best thing you can do is ask yourself, what is this trying to show me? Because if something bothers you about another person, if what they're doing is irritating you or triggering you, it's because 9 times out of 10, you do it too. You are being shown a reflection. So ask yourself, what is this trying to show me? Hydrate, drink tons and tons of water, because when we're going through these big astrological and cosmic events, there's a lot of energy trying to move, and water helps move energy. I mean, we are 65% water. So the more water we drink helps keep our waters flowing, and it helps keep them clean. Breath work. Breath work is a really good thing to do right now. I will drop a YouTube link in the description below of someone else's video, but they gave a really good, the very first exercise that he teaches is a really good way to purge your solar plexus. So purging those densities, those emotional densities that we carry in our stomach. You can also do breath of fire. You can also just do an alchemizing breath. I also teach this in Reset and Reclaim, but it's basically pulling in that emotion into your heart chakra and allowing your heart to clean it and pushing it out until the color dissolves completely. So lots of things you can do. You can just Google breath work and find one that fits you. You can do that too. And then obviously doing the work, allowing whatever's trying to come up, what's trying to be seen, to be accepted. Because the truth is when we have a heavy emotion, when we have the energy of anger or sadness or heartbreak, the energy only lasts about 10 or 20 minutes. But what happens is that we hold on to this stuff so tightly that we enter into suffering. They have told me time and time again, we are not here to suffer. We are here to learn how to move through obstacles and evolve our soul. Suffering is when we make it about ourselves. Suffering is self-obsession. So when you learn how to face that fear, that energy head on, this is something that I teach with my sessions. When you learn how to sit in that energy and allow it to not overwhelm you, but envelop you, to become one with you and then exit out of you in its natural pace, you no longer fear these things in your reality because you've already experienced them. So the more that you're able to do that, the more you become one with this energy and you release the judgment, you release the fear, you release the identity that you have given that person or that thought or that thing. And now it just becomes a piece of you. It is a part of who you are now. The same as the past, right? All those events, they become intertwined and ingrained inside of you. They become of service to you, no longer a hindrance to you. So love yourself through it. Love and respect your energy completely. If you have somebody that would rather you go against your boundaries, go against your knowing, if you have friends or family that would rather you do something to serve them that is not good for you, those are not people you want in your life anyway. You want people that will respect the fact that you are saying, no, I don't think that this is something that I would like to help you with. I'm sorry. You want people that want to respect you, that want to honor the fact that you respect yourself. So remember that the next time you say yes to something you don't want to, that you are disrespecting yourself. With that, let's wind this down. Let's just take a couple of cleansing breaths. Breathing in through the nose and allowing your abdominals and your body to fully relax and expand. And breathing out through your mouth. We're going to do that again. Breathing in through the nose. And out through the mouth. And I want you to just see this beautiful vision of yourself standing in front of you. This beautiful vision of yourself in your most joyous, happiest, divine state of being. Notice how that energy is light and freeing. That energy is expansive and bright and magnetic. And I want you to see yourself becoming one with your higher state of being. I want you to see yourself stepping forward and this higher state of you stepping forward. And as you become closer, you begin to feel this magnetic pull. And we're going to take another deep breath, breathing in. And as you're breathing in, you're feeling this higher state of your being entering into you. And as you breathe out, it anchors in fully, blending with your consciousness. We're going to allow for this beautiful funnel of beautiful white, iridescent energy to funnel down into and through your crown, beginning to flow into this new state of being, this blended unification of you and your higher self. And as it flows freely down your body, feeling it move through your chest, through your lower chakras into your body, flowing down your legs. We awaken the feet chakras. We open them nice and wide. And we allow this energy to flow down through your feet, in through Mother Gaia, and anchoring deeply into her core, connecting you heart to heart. And just allowing a moment for this energy to recycle, to rebirth, allowing for you to be grounded and connected, allowing for all that does not serve to be released, and this beautiful new, pure, loving source energy to come in its place. Just see this beautiful cycle taking place. And now we're going to begin wrapping you in a beautiful stream of gold energy about 5 feet out of your energetic field. all the way from below to above, allowing you, your body, your energy to be the conduit of your reality, helping you to bring your heart into all of your words, all of your actions, and all of your beliefs. A good rule of thumb with a belief system is to ask, is my belief so closed off that I have to fight and defend? Or is my belief open-ended and I can allow it to grow and evolve? When our beliefs are constrictive, so are we. When our beliefs are open and evolving, so are we. Thank you for joining me. And remember this month to detach. Allow things to flow freely. Embody all aspects of your journey. Become one with it. And love yourself through it. Namaste.